Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. And today I've got my June makes video, so I'm basically just going to show you what I've made in June. I was actually really productive last month. I think my month off from like hardcore sewing in May really spurred me on to do some quick makes in June. I've got actually quite a long list of things to show you. So the first thing I'll talk about is the dress that I'm wearing at the moment, and this is a dress pattern from Fibre. It's called Mira. Yes, Mira, I think. And this fabric is one that I got from Dalston market. I think it's called the Ridley Road market. I'll double check it and pop a link or guide or something down below there. So it's basically just from one of the market stores down there. I had actually been admiring this fabric for a while and saw it in a couple of indie stores, but only after they'd sold out. So when I saw this in the market there a year or so ago, I snapped up quite a lot of it. I think I got about 3 meters of it. I hadn't decided on what to do with it at the time. I knew that I really wanted something that I would, you know, love, that I would wear forever, something really special. And more than anything, I really wanted to make something that was reminiscent of an old Valentino collection that was out, I think the 2015 pre-fall collection, which was one of my favourite things ever. If you ever look at that collection, we have it available on the Vogue Runway apps, which is free to use and to check back at. Literally, the entire collection, which was by Maria Grazia Turi, who currently is the head creative designer, what do you call them, at Chanel, not Chanel, at Christian Dior, but she was in charge of Valentino at the time. And it's always one of those things that I'll always look at these clothes and I'll be like, I love it, and actually I'll look back and realise that it's all by the same lady. So actually it's quite impressive that she's able to bring so much of herself, I think, to each different design house, because really you wouldn't imagine that you'd be able to follow someone's kind of designs all the way through that. Anyway, enough rambling about that. So what I've done with this dress, it's vaguely different to the original pattern. I've kept the general shape the same. So it's a dartless bodice, sleeves, I've narrowed the sleeves slightly. They were quite wide, quite longer sleeves on the original pattern, and I've just shortened them and made them slightly narrower here, just to, you know, get them a bit more comfortable and so they're not in the way all the time as well. It's a very cropped bodice, if you can see, like that's where it stops on me, and it's a 2-tiered gathered skirt with this too. Now I've added this trim and I made it into a panelled top essentially, and I've added some of the trim into the skirt as well. I'll stand up and show you, give you guys a tutorial later. So this trim is called an entre deux trim. It usually comes as white, and I believe it was originally meant for ribbon to be threaded through. Anyway, I really like the idea of having this kind of exposed kind of a ladder seam in these, and that was the only stuff I could find that would kind of do what I wanted without it looking. There was a lot of like black lace trims and stuff, but nothing that looked like this. So I ended up hand to buy it in white and then dyeing it, which surprisingly worked quite well. I haven't had great experience in dyeing stuff in the past, so I'm quite happy with how that turned out. So yeah, I just split the bodice panel up into lots of different bits and just sewed in all the trim that I wanted, and then basically recut it with the panels and made it symmetrical and stuff, just as in recut the whole bodice piece once I'd sewn all the panels together so that it was one whole piece again. So yeah, so I'm really happy with how this turned out. I've worn it so much since I made it. It's literally, you know, one of my favourite things that I've made in recent times. I mean, I've made lots of like really pretty things and, you know, going out clothes and things like that, which are all lovely, but you don't really get the opportunity to wear that much. But this is like, for me, one of the perfect kind of day dress, and it's got that kind of spring to autumn things because of the sleeves as well, so I feel like I'm going to be able to get a lot of wear out of this one. So just the whole time I'm going to stand up and show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. I have actually made the middle tier of this skirt, this dress, a little bit longer than it originally was. So this is probably slightly longer than the dress is intended to be. And that's because I initially planned on putting a row of the trim in the middle seam as well. And then I realized that that kind of hit around crotch height or close to it. And I was like, you know what? I don't really want to be like flashing too much, so I ended up just putting the trim through the middle of the last bottom tier instead. So you still get a little bit that kind of see-through effect there, but without, you know, just showing some knee instead of showing underwear. I don't think it would have been much if I did have it there, but yeah, I just thought I'd be a bit more comfortable this way. So yeah, this is the dress. It's really like loose fits, really kind of swishy. And it's just got a little bit of a keyhole neck at the back and a button to finish it as well, which makes it really, really easy in terms of making it and getting it on, because you don't have to worry about putting in zips and things like that, and it's just so comfortable. So yeah, and that's this one. So yeah, as I said, this is the Fibre Mood Mira dress, and I will show you what the next one is. So this one's another just epic summer dress make. I've made just a bunch of summery dresses this month. So this month in June. I think the weather was just starting to get a bit nicer, and I was really just inspired to make lots of these just quick little summer dresses. So the one I'm wearing at the moment is the Tessuti Annie dress. It's just meant to be this quite high neck, but there's a bit of a square neckline here. These kind of wide-ish spaghetti straps across the top, and with an empire kind of waist here, gather skirt and pockets. It is quite a long dress, so this is almost grazing my ankles, in fact. I've made this out of a viscose challis with this really, really sweet yellow flower and polka dot pattern. Similarly to the dress that I was just wearing, I've used the entrée trim again, mostly because I could only find one place that sold it, and they sold it as 27-meter bolts, like on a card. So I got quite a lot of it. I thought I might as well use it, and I love it. I love that trim. I think I'm going to use it in loads of things. So again, I've used the trim on the front in a cross shape here, in a similar way to what I did with the last one, and I've also got it in the strap as well, so it's got a bit of a sheer strap too. So this dress is very similar on the front and the back. The style is almost completely the same there, and this fabric is a little bit sheer to be wearing kind of out and about, so this might be my lounging about a home dress, but it is super comfortable. It's super light. This fabric is so soft. I really should have made a blouse or something out of it, because really I would need to line this to get it like properly comfortable to be worn outdoors. It's not too bad here, but you know, if I had loads of light shining in from behind me, you'd definitely be able to see a lot going on over here. So that's this make. Another lovely kind of summery make, and I'll show you what the next one is now. So this is another Tessuti pattern. This one's called the Eva dress. This again is another dress with a dartless bodice, little sleeves, and a kind of a lantern style skirt. Now the skirt, each front and back piece is made out of 4 panels, so you've got kind of panels 1, 2, 3 and 4 at the bottom there as well, and it kind of bows out around the middle to give that kind of lantern shape, which I thought was a little bit unusual. Again, I really liked how this pattern looked in that it was really kind of simple and straightforward, but it really had that kind of chic vibe to it. It does come as sleeveless as well, so they give you 2 different options for the bodice, for either sleeves or without, and I think really the main difference is just that it's a bit narrower at the top here for the sleeveless versions. The neck, and if you did it sleeveless, and the armholes would be just finished with a bias binding, and again no closures, just pull it over your head. I love those kind of dresses for summer. I love things that are really easy to wear, comfortable, a little bit breezy. You don't want anything like super kind of clingy and fitted when you're kind of super sweaty, do you? So this one is made, I have no idea what this fabric is. It feels like a poly cotton stretch. It's got a very slight stretch to it. I really like this kind of poppy print on it. Both this fabric and the fabric from the Annie dress, so the last dress I was wearing, were both from the Textile Centre, which I picked up at the Knitting and Stitching show in March. They do have their standalone stores and online store as well. I just happened to find these things whilst I was there. It's the kind of store that does just really cheap, really bargain fabrics. Probably not the most kind of eco-friendly kind of place. I imagine they've got a lot of dead stock there, if that makes you feel any better. But a great place to pick up a bargain. Both this fabric and the last one were both, I think, £5 a metre, so it's not too bad. And I've just gotten some really lovely dresses out of it. I really like the shape of this bodice and the sleeve on me, so I have a feeling that I'll probably use this top half quite a lot, and then maybe do some kind of gather skirts and tiered gather skirts on this as well, similar to the Mira dress. Just because this is slightly more fitted than that one, I think that this will be just even more kind of comfortable, more versatile more than anything. Because as much as I love the Mira dress, I think in the wrong fabric and print you can just feel like you're swimming in it and feel a bit too much like a nightie. So I'll move on and show you what my next outfit is. So this make was a dress that I made for my June Minerva Crafts Blogger Network make. It's a Burda dress, a summer pattern that is one of the, I think, a relatively new release from them. So I've made the maxi dress version, but it also comes as a midi dress, and others are shortened with a big ruffle thing on it as well. I've taken out actually a lot of the detail in the strap for this dress. So the original pattern is meant to have these twisting straps that go around each other and then top stitch onto the back. I decided I just wanted some plain straps, so I just made my own in there. The top is fully lined, princess seamed bodice. I think that definitely helped in terms of fit, making it fit really well around the bust and to the waist there. And it is a proper wrap, so it goes all the way through the little hole on the side as well. It's one of those things that ended up just looking a lot more glamorous than I thought it would look. I ended up wearing this to a Secret Cinema James Bond theme event, so it all worked out kind of rather well for me that I had this just at the right time. And I just love this colour. One thing I'll link to this fabric below, but a few things you need to be aware of with it is you can feel that, it's quite a polyestery scuba crepe. It's quite a heavy, quite a bouncy fabric, so you will find in areas where there's like a lot of seams and a lot of layers that it can end up quite thick in some spaces. So I spent a lot of time kind of grading down seams in the waist and things like that, just to get things sitting a bit more comfortably on me. That being said, I think it does look really good, and I've not made any adjustments to the pattern. I think that where it's a pattern for stretch and you're wrapping it like this, it's actually much easier to kind of get something that even just semi-fits and still make it look really, really good. So I'll move on to the next outfit to show you. Okay, so this technically isn't one that I made in June. I made it a couple of months ago, and it is a pattern test that I did for the Tilly and the Buttons Jessa shorts. It's a pattern that also comes as a flared jean as well, but considering my thighs and hips, I didn't think flares were for me, so I opted to make the shorts version. They're just a really kind of comfy high-waisted short. I love a high-waisted trouser or jean anyway, so this really suited my taste and style in that sense. I've made mine out of a chunky jumbo cord, which I thought really fitted the 70s vibe of the pattern. I love the little details for this pattern, like the little angled tab on the front and the angled pockets on the back as well, which I think are just really, really cute. I love all those extra little details with these patterns. I don't have the turned up cuffs on these, so with the original tester version of the pattern, the shorts ended up being way long, and they were like down here, which is a really awkward length for me, and instead of remaking like new cuffs, I sort of thought I'd just trim them off and shorten them and just, you know, make it wearable for myself at the time. The one thing that does frustrate me with these shorts is that there's no front pockets. I do think, from what I remember, there is a kind of a patch pocket you can put on the front as well now. It's got a little faux button on the front, which I think is really cute, but I like being able to put my hands here. I've got a really bad, I don't know if it's a bad habit, but a real habit of putting hands here, so not having that there I find frustrating, but not everyone will. Can always use back pockets as well, they're completely functional. I've got one more clothing item to show you that I made in June, and I will I've got one more clothing item to share with you that I made in June. Let me just go grab it. So I was asked to be a fabric ambassador for the new craft house who've just recently started selling fabric. They sell a lot of dead stock and ex-designer fabrics from local East London designers. They'll kind of buy them by the van load and then sell them on, so you know that they're all kind of really good quality stuff. For this project, I picked out this really lovely raw mohair houndstooth fabric. So it's got a beige background with a dark red and black, it's really tiny houndstooth over it. And I really like the idea of turning that into this little jacket. So this is a 50s style jacket, it's a simplicity pattern. And I thought it looked really cute. It's got this kind of like a swing jacket look, almost like a kimono-esque sleeve, so it's grown on sleeve here with these big turn back cuffs, and this shawl collar that ends with these big folds at the bottom of the jacket, which end up being like hand warmers. They call them pockets on the pattern, but I would not call these pockets in real life because you actually can't really hold stuff in there. There's nothing that's going to stop things from coming out, but it's the kind of thing that, you know, you'd wear, use to keep your hands warm. I can imagine them doing that in the olden days anyway. But I thought with the right fabric this could end up looking really modern and chic. It's a fully lined jacket. It's actually very simple to make. So the grown on sleeves on the front and back, it is fully lined, and I've used this really lovely turquoise lining on the inside. And yeah, it's a bit of an odd one in that I do really like it. It's really comfortable. I don't know if I'm 100% sure on how I want to wear it, if that makes sense. I don't know if it works well in something like this where it's, you know, just with jeans and a t-shirt, or if this is going to work better with dresses. I feel like I'm going to have to try it with lots of different outfits to see kind of what kind of thing works with it. I do like it though, and it does feel, you know, just super like luxe and quite glamorous. I've just got to find the right outfit and the right occasion to wear it now. Alright, so that's all the clothes I've got to show you. There's one more thing that I want to share with you though, so just hold tight. So the last thing that I wanted to share with you was a couple of things that I made whilst I was at Glastonbury. So if you aren't British and don't know about it, Glastonbury is this giant music festival that happens once a year down in Somerset. It's basically 200,000 people descending on the farm, and there's loads of music going on, loads of activities, there's a circus, there's all sorts of things going on. But my favourite bit is the craft field. I always love going there and trying out new things. They'll have loads of different types of things there, so things like woodworking, blacksmithing. You'll have people making organic soaps, and you know, I saw someone dyeing with petals, like dyeing fabric with petals. There's pottery going on. I made two things. I made a flower crown and I also made a willow basket. So I'll show you the crown first. So Had to make a flower crown, because what is a festival without some ridiculous piece of headwear? It's not my first flower crown. I have made quite a few in the past, and both with faux flowers and with real. And the trick I find with flower crowns is to put as many flowers on into a smaller space as possible. The denser you can make the flowers, the better it will tend to look. So I'll try this on, you can see how it looks. I feel like I'm having a real Frida Kahlo moment when I'm wearing this. It's just got that really fun pop of colour as well. So yeah, I hope I get an opportunity to wear this again, and it wasn't just like a one-off for the festival. So I really feel like I can, you know, rock this look on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so the other thing, as I said, I made a willow basket. And that's this baby. We spent like 2 days weaving this basket. It was not easy work. It's very physical, hurts your hands. It's a lot of hard work, but I do feel like, you know, we came away with something really, really special. So I'm the one who really wanted to do it. And both my sisters decided that they also would do a basket as well. They did, I feel, really regret that afterwards, just because it was a lot harder than I think we all anticipated. But I felt like I really learned a new skill there. I'm really pleased with just really how symmetrical this turned out, and that actually, you know, it looks really like a proper shop bought basket, in fact. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how that turned out. I feel like my teacher was quite pleased with my work with that too. There were a surprisingly large number of people weaving baskets over the weekend. Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's just something that people, you know, you go to a music festival, you come home with a basket, right? We did look a bit crazy going home, so, you know, just imagine us, big backpacks, wheelbarrow with our tents and airbeds and all of that stuff, and then all carrying a dainty basket home as well. Just, you know, as you do. So that's all I've got to show you guys today. Hopefully you found some of that interesting, maybe not, who knows, but thanks for watching anyway. And hopefully I'll have more to show you next month. Stay tuned. Bye guys.